Greetings in the name of His Imperial Majesty, Emperor Haile Selassie I, Jah Rastafari. He's ever living, He's ever faithful, He's ever sure. Welcome. We're coming to you live from Scarborough, Ontario, Canada, and we're happy to be back. This is our first show for the new year, and we're very glad and excited to be back here in the studio. And you know, if it's Saturday morning, I'm going to ask you and remind you to read Psalms 119. It is the cleansing psalm from within. It gives you vigor for the week ahead, and it teaches you how to live. What more can you ask? So check it out. As I mentioned, we are very glad and excited to be back in the studio this morning because we have a special guest here this morning, and I love it. Now, this powerhouse of Canadian reggae music, I'm looking for the word because I want to make sure I get it right. He's a real powerhouse of reggae music in Canada, and he's an accomplished musician, a songwriter, and a producer, not to mention a double Juno nominee, and he's a tall, dark, handsome man, and I love it. Please welcome Steele.
Greetings, my sister. Greetings.
Greetings. Thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited.
A pleasure.
As you can see, I'm just making sure I get it right.
He's a tall, dark,
handsome, drink of water, or just a beautiful man all around.
I hear you. I'll work with it.
It is so true. It is so true. Welcome. Thank you for being here.
No problem. No problem. You know what I mean? We've been trying to make this happen. You know what I mean? But I always say nothing happens before the time. So it's a blessing, man. I'm here, you know, welcome, you know, reggae television viewers, and I'm here, you know. We're going to talk with my sister today, and sky's the limit, not true?
Oh, wonderful. Absolutely, absolutely.
Yeah,
I want to really get into it with you because first I want to hear your opinion on where do you think, I mean, because you've been in the business a long time. I remember reading something like 10, 14 years old, you started this thing, right? So I want to know, what is your overall impression? Because in the background we have Steele music playing.
Right.
In the background we have Steele music playing, and I just love it because when I hear reggae music, I'm happy. So I want to know your impression. Where is reggae music today now, especially here in Canada? Where do you see it?
I think there's a vast development that has happened, and I came here in 1979. Sorry, 1989.
Yes.
And when I came here, you know, I learned about the Bamboo, El Macombo,
yes,
those venues downtown. And, you know, the whole impression was if you wanted to hear reggae music,
yes,
you know, on a regular, that's where you had to actually go to hear it. Then there was CHRY,
right,
you know what I mean, community station or and there's other radio stations, you know what I mean, CIUT, you know what I mean, 88.1 that used to blaze the fire. The problem was the stigma was, you know, nothing good is actually happening here. The stigma was everybody who wanted to make it in reggae music had to actually leave and go to Jamaica. That was the thought, you know what I mean, that was the message that was being sent.
Right.
And mind you, people were pretty much comparing the production that was coming out of Canada with what was going on in Jamaica. And that's the right thing to do. The problem was, you know, I don't think a lot of effort was being made by a lot of the producers to actually enhance what they're doing. You know what I mean? But I am proud to say, and I'm glad to say that come 2013 now, totally different.
Yes.
Totally different. And I'm just glad to be a part of that journey. Yes. We're now people, we're pretty much on the same level because now you hear a Canadian product, you know what I mean? And if you put a product that's coming out of Jamaica or anywhere else for that matter, the comparisons are there. It's hard to compare, it's hard to see the differences. You know what I mean? Better off than that now, there's artists here like myself who, you know, has been taking the music from a global standpoint. We have done shows globally, you know what I mean? We've done shows in Jamaica, which is the Mecca. And you know you can't do a show in Jamaica if you're not up to what's going on. You know what I mean? Or production is played globally, or production is played in Jamaica, it's played in the States, it's played everywhere. And you know, one of the things that I was determined to do, Sandra, is make sure that if I was going to live here, here has to be my home. Here has to be where I develop my music abilities from. So I've stuck with it. You know, a lot of people have said to me in the past, Steele, you need to go back to Jamaica. And I said, yo, what am I going to go back to Jamaica to do? I said, look, Canada is so vast, it's so open.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? So why not stay here and grow the thing?
Yes.
I have always believed in being a leader, not a follower. So
Very
if somebody said to me that it can't be done, wrong person you're talking to.
Right.
You know what I mean? So I have stuck with it, and I'm glad to know that now we can do festivals across Canada.
Right.
You know what I mean? I can headline festivals anywhere.
Yes.
And it's just a blessing, you know, and it has definitely developed, sister, and I'm just glad to be a part of the whole development of reggae music in Canada.
Wow.
Where now producers out of Jamaica are saying, yo, what's going on in Canada, man? We've been hearing things about it. Now when you send a music, like I said before, it's an automatic play now in any market. They're not now scrutinize it and throwing it down. And more importantly, a lot of the local entities have started to embrace it. Radios is embracing it. It's almost right now, it's like if you're not playing a Canadian content on it, you're going to turn off a lot of people. You have to be playing Canadian content, and I'm just glad to see that development, you know what I mean, from a local perspective, yeah.
Well, that sounds very positive. I'm really glad to hear that. And one of the reasons I ask you this because, you see, whenever time I'm doing any work in the house, cleaning, cooking, whatever, and I put on Galaxy reggae music with the reggae rhythm, I could keep going forever. I could keep cleaning forever until I could clean again. I could start cooking more, you know, I cook and I think, because it gives me so much energy. You know, and it gives me so much inspiration that I feel like I can just keep going.
And Galaxy's been one of those entities too, you know, that has embraced reggae. You know what I mean? I remember, I think the whole structure has changed now, but I remember meeting a gentleman in Ottawa when I was doing a show, and he was responsible for programming on Galaxy.
Really?
Yeah. And you know,
I want to congratulate him. He's a good programmer.
No, trust me. And you know, I don't think he's with them anymore. I think the whole structure has changed and there's somebody else. But that man used to embrace for music so much. My music, you know what I mean? People used to call me so soft and Steele. We hear the music on Galaxy and we go, what? Because I'm thinking, man, royalties. You know what I mean?
Well, of course, because you want to do the music, but you also want to make a living.
A business.
And that's the most important thing. You have to make a living, right? And then you can really pour your heart out because we have to eat, we have to live someplace, we have to take care of our families.
But you know it right, you know, sister, because I talk all the while, you know, and I said, listen, your average CD costs you about $8 to do, average CD. And at the end of the day, unfortunately, when the mortgage bill come in, or the hydro bill come in, you can't tell the mortgage man that, yo, you don't have it. So it's still a business. And that's one of the things that, you know, if you're talking about some of the drawbacks that we have here, a lot of times, you know what I mean, you know, not only myself, because I don't really run into those issues anymore, because I've made sure that, you know, the reputation is still there, but a lot of artists still run into the problems where you have some promoters still going like it's favorite thing them doing. You know what I mean? And I'm like, yo, favorite thing's done. Because when you're in the studio spending $8 grand and $9 grand, nobody's granting you no favor. And while we endeavor to work with everybody, people and promoters have to still realize that it's still a business. So if the artist is worth it, you know, let's deal with it. You know, because you know something too. There's a lot of times, you know, there's concerts that come here, you know what I mean, and they have other name artists on the bill, and you'd be surprised that it's our own local artists here, who what we call T for sure, you know what I mean, because when them go out, you know, they remember an artist that is hungrier have a lot more to prove. So when we go up on stage, you know,
he puts it out there.
Puts it out. You know what I mean? And even though promoters will see that, embrace that, understand that, when it's time to get paid, it's still an issue. You know what I mean?
That's so bad. That's too bad.
Alright, that's why I created this thing called my brown envelope. You know what I mean? And my brown envelope pretty much means if you think I'm worth it, then pay me.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Don't think you're going to just take it.
When a man works, he must get paid.
He must get, because you don't put on a show with the sole purpose of putting on a show so it looks good. You putting on a show with the hope of just making a profit. And what I understand, because I've been on both aspects of it, you know, I've been a promoter and been a lot. But at the end of the day, you know, there's got to be some form of compensation. If it's not compensation in money, it has to be compensation in kind. It's like it has to still enhance what you're doing as an art form. You know what I mean? So, but we're still growing and we're still learning, because this problem is not only based in Canada. This is a global problem.
It's a global problem.
So we just have to just love it and just embrace it. And I will tell every artist, you are worth what you are worth.
That's right.
You have to make sure that you're worth something.
That's right.
You know, so you know, the job continues where you have to still make sure that the music that you put out, fans still want to hear it. You know, you have to know where your fan base is. You know what I mean? And stick to your fan base. Don't make no sense you treading all over the place and don't have one foundation. You still have to develop a foundation.
Create a solid foundation.
You have to create that. Then you can blend it. My foundation, my fan base are ladies, you know.
Oh, very good. And they would be happy to know that he's worth every minute of it.
You see,
really. I mean, he's handsome, he's smart, he sings, and he is just everything.
Well,
so.
you know what it is, sister? I have lived my life and I've built my career on one thing.
Yes.
I am still just a vessel of the people.
Yes.
At the end of the day, I cannot decide if I go forward. People decide if I go forward. So when I do my music, and we're talking about this before, when I do my music, I try to do my music to aim into please. I know I can't always please, but if I can create a fan base that I can please, then it's my little niche, it's my little thing. I'm not trying to, you know what I mean? So the world, it doesn't necessarily belong to everybody. If you find a little space, you cherish that space and you work within that space, and you embrace it, and if them embrace you, then eventually your thing will grow.
Well, I think ladies like men who are just men, who are strong, who are courageous, who speaks his mind, does well at his work, and loves his woman. I mean, you want a man who loves his woman, because if he loves his woman, he's a man.
Yeah, man.
He's a man.
No, a straight talk, you know. A straight talk. And as you know, every man needs a strong woman.
Yes.
Not behind them, not in front of them, beside them.
Right beside them.
Right beside them.
Yeah.
And sometimes when I pain on the neck, you know, but the woman never say that too.
We're worth it.
My sister, I tell her that God too much, sometimes look up to the heaven.
And you say, thank God I've got this woman who challenges me. Who challenges me.
Yeah.
Who makes me want to just scream, but then comes out of it, there's more love.
And good music.
Yeah.
Because there's always something to write about, don't you?
Yeah.
But we love for the man. We never try to get, you know, get you out of our mind, out of our heart, because it's important.
Yes.
You know
we're your mothers, we're your sisters, we're your best friends. You know, we love you. I just think that, you know, women and men have got to find their way back together as one.
As one.
As one. A lot of separation has happened over the years with relationships.
Power struggle.
Power struggle. And there's no need to power struggle, because a woman wants to take care of her man and a man wants to take care of his woman.
Sometimes I wonder though, I tell you something, because North America can create, and I said can, I'm not saying it has. North America can create certain rifts between relationship and sister. And it has a lot to do with
money. What else?
Money, not you.
Yes.
Money. And you know, them say the love of money is the root of all evil, or money is the root of all evil. But I
see now, this is so interesting, and I want to say this because we're on this topic. Turn your heart to my decrees and away from getting money.
Right.
This is Bible.
True.
This is Bible. And not only that, it's Psalms 119. It's just a line in Psalms 119. This is why I encourage people to read it every Sabbath. Because you know what? Just knowing that, turn your heart to my decrees, which is God's decrees, and away from getting money. Really put money in perspective for you. It's secondary. You know?
Which is true. When it's based on relationship and women, you know, and just a lot of problems that's created. One of the biggest things is, like you said, you know, if, with going back to the bills again, if a man out there struggle and things not happening the way, you know, he would love it to happen. You still need a very strong woman
who will pick up the slack, without feeling used. See, that's the question, and that depends on the man. Without feeling used.
It does.
Because you see what happens is that now he knows where he's falling down. He knows where he's a bit weak. And this is why intelligence is really important. So what he has to do is to build up what is his strong point. Build up your strong point. Because women are very smart. We see when men are making an effort. We see when they're trying. You see? So you can't pay the bill. But darn, if you did those dishes after dinner, damn.
You're smart woman.
I mean, if you were to like, you know, she comes home from work and the house is like clean. Oh my God, she would throw the money at you.
Well,
throw the money at you.
And it makes such a difference in terms of the length of the relationship. Because like you said, you know, my brethren, God, you know, soul rest in peace, Delroy Sterling was a very good, very good close friend of mine, and used to be on CHRY. And one thing I learned from him, one thing he used to say is one hand can't clap.
No.
You know what I mean? And you know, and that's one of the things that I live by. And it can be broken down to different facets of your life. And like you said, if the money is not right, you know, a man is coming in and still playing some role within the household.
Of course.
You know what I mean? Taking care of the youth, them.
She be telling her friends, he is so good. I love that man.
Trust me, it makes sense.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. And at the end of the day, those things, if those things are lacking, if those type of, you know what I mean, clapping together are lacking, then it creates a lot of issues.
Of course. And you know, and it's really important that I think, especially our men, you know, because I get it. Things are really hard for them.
Right.
You know, the last to be hired, the first to be fired. That still goes today. You know what I mean? His job is not as readily seen as the other guy. You know, and so a lot of times, you know, he's wondering where's his place.
Right.
You know, and that's okay to do, because once you start wondering, then you know it spurs something to happen.
Right.
But if you have a woman there and you're showing her that you're doing your best to make the relationship the best it can be, oh, believe me, you'll never lose that woman. And she works wonders. She works wonders, and money will appear. Because you put money back, and you put love and family first.
One of the biggest things I can say is, man, you know, as men, I'm not just saying black men. I'm saying we just can't give up.
No,
you know what I mean? Because trust me, the day you give up is the day you die.
Well, yes.
You cannot
just
give
go
up.
lay down.
Go lay down.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to just keep working, and treating a woman good at the best you can. You know what I mean?
The family is so important. Black family is missing ingredients of togetherness, love, you know, trial, stick to it, courage. They're missing that, and they need to put all those ingredients back in their relationship. And I'm so glad you're here today, because you know, you're such a great example of what I'm talking about. Is, you know, a man who is doing what he must do, taking his stance, and yet he loves his woman. I love it.
I love it, woman, man.
I love it.
How can you do it by yourself?
Now look, you started off in the church, like most of us will do. And what I want to know is, what led you from, you know, church music, which is kind of different, to the you know sweet reggae, Rasta roots music?
Suppose I tell you something. I don't think I've strayed too much. One of the issues that I tell you a true story. There's a good artist, his name is Benjamin Myers, and we grew up together, you know what I mean, in Hanover, because I'm from Lucy, Hanover, so all the country people are blessed with themselves. Country, every time. But, you know, I remember moving to Hopewell, Hanover, and, you know, starting going to school in Montego Bay. And there was a crew called the Herbert Martin, they are Mystic Force. Benjamin Myers, you know, accomplished musician now. You know, it's a pastor's son. And I tell you, in school, we dropped it in all forms, because we had a band in the school. And if it was reggae, soca, gospel, we knew how to deal with it. But I remember playing in this church, and back then I was a drummer. My emphasis was not on singing, it was drumming. And I remember his father used to say, you know, you and Steele coming in here with this reggae music in the church. Now at the time, and you know, to us it was just like an expression. Once the lyrical content was talking about what it was meant to be, you know, in that form and that context, then the way you expressed it musically, I don't think it was a big issue. However, being the traditional man that he is, and a lot of Jamaicans were back then, if it wasn't being played in a certain format, then you felt like, or they felt like, what is this person up to now? Bring the devil music in our church.
Whirling music.
Whirling music. And that has always stuck with me, because I tell you something, I have always believed that it's more important for your lyrical content more than the form that you deliver in. You know what I mean? Remember back in the days, you know, sister, when me and you growing up, you know, if you did the one drop, you know, and it was a reggae, people be like, cousin, what can you be doing that? How can you be doing that? But no, we have, you know, developed to see, you know, gospel music being delivered in such different forms now. I was at a gospel concert recently, you know what I mean? And I tell my sister, I did not know where I was.
Really?
You have some gospel artists now when they bop and weave and when they, no, trust me. And I'm like, Yeah, this is what gospel. Here's the funniest thing about it now. When I chose to do my music, I am very mindful of my lyrical content. So I'm not bother with the pasta thing too deep because again, with a man like me that have children,
yes,
I feel like I should be their best example.
Yes.
Because I cannot be doing music and send it to the world and expect other people's children to be embracing it while I go home and turn it off and say mine.
No.
You know, so I have lived with that and it's a conviction that I believe in. So the transition that you're talking about has not necessarily been a transition. I have done music, and if you listen to my musical content, you know, you can pretty much change it. You can play it in a church setting, in a wedding setting, you know, even if you know, House of Parliament.
Party, you have a child birthday party, want people to be happy.
And you don't have to feel no way because at no time at all you're gonna hear some derogatory lyrics from Steele. So, you know, one thing I've done though, and I must say this, being again old-fashioned person that I am. You know what I mean? If you have been to one of my shows, and I know you're gonna be coming to one of my shows, a lot of my fans out there know that me's an arms host man from stage, because I like to entertain.
Of course.
So I have always felt like, you know, because I do gospel music too, but one of my things has always been, if I'm on stage on a Saturday night, I'm a bubbler, I love wine and bubble. Entertainment.
Yes.
If I'm on stage Saturday night bubbling, then I don't think Sunday morning I should be in church singing a song that represents another
something else. Yes.
It has never worked for me.
No.
Some people are comfortable doing it.
No.
You know, I have produced gospel songs, you know what I mean, but I felt like, okay, if this is not my regular way of expressing myself, then I have to be mindful of what I do. You know what I mean? But overall, my music just speaks to the masses. You know? So even an ordained minister, you know what I mean, can take up one of Steele's CD and don't need to worry, you know?
So if you can't make it to church on Sunday, you put in Steele's song and
there you go.
Steele's song and there it is.
You're good to
then
go.
You're good to go.
Good to go, my sister.
Okay, yeah, that's wonderful, I tell you. So see, I love that because being and that's one of my, I have a question coming up later on about being able to adopt, and that's what you do. So that's wonderful. Now, you are Jamaican. You were born in Jamaica, and you came to Canada, and you made Canada your home. And as you said earlier, you decided that this is where you plant your roots. And of course, when you go back to the Bible, it says wherever you are, buy homes, plant gardens, have children, have family, make it good for you.
Make it yours.
There you go. Now, what was your first impression when you first came to Canada, and has your impression been realized? Do you find that you're not disappointed?
Well, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think I would trade Canada for anywhere.
There you go.
And not just from a musical perspective, but from a social perspective. Just the whole fact that we have
rights.
Well, rights is one thing. We've always had rights, but you know, from this perspective that we have, you know, free healthcare. That means a lot. And I tell you, everybody know, most people know that I grew up in Lucy, and you know, my mother passed away in the Lucy Hospital, you know, years ago, you know, and she was there and close to me. But the conditions that I saw in Lucy Hospital and in a lot of the hospitals in Jamaica, the lack of affordability of health care. When I came to this country, sister, and once I started research and found out that I could actually walk into a doctor with a piece of card that gives me right to be looked after. That alone impacted me. You know what I mean? I have friends in the States right now who are going through hell because they cannot afford some of the treatment. You know what I mean? I cannot trade that. You know what I mean? From that perspective. When, you know, you can go, that alone, sister. You know, taxes are high. You know, part of living. You know what I mean? Live where you're comfortable, live within your means. Cool. That can be worked out. But just to say we have that ability to just take care of ourselves. And I wonder sometimes why a lot of us don't really take advantage of that. Cool. Now, Canada to me has, just like anywhere else, has its ups and downs.
Yes.
Racism there, you know what I mean, even though them play slick with it.
Yes.
But if you understand it, you know it.
Yes.
So you work with it. And you're the funniest thing. We're not the only one that goes through that.
No.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
We're not the only culture that goes through that.
No.
You know what I mean? We may think that it's only black people that experience that. No! Get it right.
Yes.
It's not us.
Yes.
You know, we can deal with it because it's our personal issues.
Yes.
But if you were to talk to some other people, they will tell you the same thing and some of the struggles they're going through.
Yeah.
So we have to embrace it as it is, understand it.
Yes.
From a musical perspective, I am still not where I want to be musically. And I see you mentioned about the Juno nomination, and it's good for a bio.
Yes.
It's good for a resume.
Yeah.
But here's the real thing about it, my sister.
Yeah.
Just straight up with you.
Please.
I have also won a lot of reggae music awards. To date, as much as I've been nominated for Junos, I've won a reggae music award. The award to me that stands out the most is what I got from the Jamaica Day Committee. And it's the People's Choice Award.
Yeah.
Everything else is secondary.
Yeah.
Let me tell you why the Juno is secondary to me. Like I said, it's good for a bio.
Yeah.
But still, the struggle continues when you try to get your music played on commercial music.
Yes.
You bring it to them,
Yes.
them don't play it.
No.
You know when they embrace it? When they're trying to endorse a cultural event.
Yes.
Then 2 weeks before, 3 weeks before, you hear them start rinse out. A lot of people know what rinse out mean. A lot of them start play
Play that. Yeah.
play your song.
Yeah.
Right after the event, you don't hear about it
No,
again.
yeah.
Try calling them afterwards.
Yeah.
Typical example. You know what I mean? I tell them things that I'm comfortable with
Of
you.
course, it's important that we discuss.
We go to the Juno lounge, and you know, you've heard them, you've seen them, celebrities, you know, other big, you know, TV stations, radio stations. We do interview with them. Ask them to hear that now. You know what I mean? So it's a big game.
Yes.
And the more,
Pacify, but not really realize. Pacify, don't realize.
all right.
Yeah.
So because now I know the game, I just work with it because hey, what can you do? You go, you do a thing. But there's a lot of things lacking. And I said, look, if you look, one of the big things I said even at the Juno nomination or ceremony that last year, and I was talking to entertainment, TV, entertainment, and I have to big them up because they did hear the interview.
Okay.
You know what I mean? I didn't see it anywhere else, but I know entertainment did.
Okay.
You know, because people come and say, yo, this is upon entertainment. So, alright, cool. So that's another entity. We love it. We embrace everything. You know, if they would only, my sister, when them sit you down and, you know, Mayor talk right now, do something with them that means so much. But one of the things I said to them is, I want to perform on the Juno Awards because on there you don't see no representative. So why you have the category, you know what I mean? And then you have an award off camera the day before and you give it a thing and then it's never heard of again until come like just a fill up paper.
Yeah.
So I've realized, my sister, I said to myself, so you see my music? A culture music, a roots music, a grown music.
Right.
That's why I embrace community so much.
Absolutely.
Because I've always said it don't matter if you have 10 awards, if the foundation is not embracing you, it don't make no sense. You're going nowhere with it.
Yeah.
So like while it's good for a resume and it's good to be recognized for the work that you do, I have also realized that your content has to be embraced by the people in the community.
Yes.
And once the people are embraced in the community, it spreads.
Spreads.
So don't worry yourself too much about awards and things. Just continue to do your work. I'm gonna say that to every artist. You know what I mean? Just continue to do your work and make people embrace what you're doing and everything else will fall into place. You know?
Do you see reggae music as jam music?
You see reggae music as global music. But we're, see a man like Bob Marley and Peter Tosh were very influential in making it global. And what their teachings has been so inspirational globally. So yes, a jam music.
Jam music. All right, that's great because it's such a foundation for how people are going to be able to learn. You know, how people are going to be able to see the world. You know, because one thing about reggae music is that when it's put together, it's a story that could be from ancient, can be from present, It could be from the future.
And what people need to realize too, that there's different facets of reggae music. Well, there's lovers rock. There's a cultural element. Some people say dancehall is a category by itself. But I still want to say it's reggae music.
Reggae music.
I still want to say it's reggae music. If it's not for you, it's not for you. If it's for you, then hold on to it. But just the three expressions, you choose which one you want to be involved with. But at the end of the day, it's my culture expressing themselves. And I won't fight it. Like I said, if it's not for you, leave it alone. If the lyrical content is not for you, leave it alone. If you don't believe it, leave it alone. But as a general expression, we love reggae music.
But the wonderful thing about reggae music is from Jamaica. And Jamaica is a place where it's every other place. Just about everywhere you go, you find a Jamaican, or something about Jamaica, or somebody who loves Jamaica, or somebody who's been to Jamaica. It's so, Jamaica, you know, ubiquitous, that word. I love it. It's everywhere.
Everywhere. You can't get around it.
Yeah.
You know the funniest thing, a couple years ago, when I came here, I say about Alaska. When we think about Alaska, you know, when we think about snow, Eskimo, all them things there. And I got a call from Alaska. Yo, Steele! We love your music up here. I go, who this? And the virgin tell me one name. He was on a radio station in Alaska.
Wow.
2 radio stations in Alaska that plays reggae music. I've been on their charts. You know what I mean? That's Alaska. Now my first question, Virgin, you're not cold.
Oh, it's freezing up there, but he's still up there.
But there.
I know. Anywhere, everywhere. I love it.
Our people.
I love it.
Our people.
You know, I was listening to an interview, Vernon Mayton.
Okay.
Yes. And he was doing an interview with someone from Ireland. And this, you know, guy with his strong Irish accent, and he was just, you know, gushing about how much he loves Vernon and all the work he did from way back. And, you know, he's playing all of Vernon's great hits while they're talking. And, you know, he knew so much about this man all the way from Ireland. You know, and he's talking about some buddies of his who are just happy that he's doing this interview because they've been so excited.
You know the funniest thing, a lot of times we as Jamaicans take our own culture and music for granted.
Yes.
We don't really spend the time, including myself.
Yes.
We don't spend the time to really know in depth our culture. And you have some people who are not our culture but just embrace it so much and can teach us things about our own culture. You know the funniest thing, I only went to Duns River Falls last year, not last year, the year before last when I went to Jamaica.
Isn't that amazing?
Duns River Falls.
I know.
You know, I couldn't even climb up the rock because it made me afraid. I don't like dropping them, I don't like drop.
But you can't hurt yourself. Didn't you find that out?
I did not try to go up there. First of all, the water cold.
It's not that cold. What? It is cold.
The water
is covered by trees, right?
My sister, the water cold. I couldn't manage it at all. I just said, no.
Really? What I discovered?
But walk up the step then.
Yeah, really?
Let me check it out.
Oh no. Next time. You know what? Next time I'm advising you to do it because I resisted. I resisted like you not believe. The lady had to tell me off.
For real?
For real. And finally when I said, okay, fine, I felt ashamed. I did it. I rented shoes. They were just like $5 American. And the first hole.
You pay American dollar now, Jamaica?
Yes.
You need to learn something there. You go.
I hear you. The first hole is deep. And if you're not paying attention, you can hurt yourself. But after that, everything is no more than this. No more. You will never drown in there. And the waterfalls, they're not heavy to wash you anywhere.
Really?
It's really safe. But when I was finished with this, when I was convinced and finally finished, the lady said to me, Mom, I said, what? She said, you take off 10 years. I said, excuse me? She goes, you know, like a baby coming out of the water. Because it works you, you're so happy, you do so much laughing, it's such a wonderful experience. You take off 10 years by the time you finish.
I have to try it next time.
You must.
Trust me, sister, 1 foot at a time. Because I am not doing it, but you know the funniest thing? Jamaicans are so creative too.
Yes.
You know, we go for peer for going there, right?
Yes.
And I went with my friend and you know, him say leave the talking to him because they know, you know. They know. So I go up to the boat and him say 5 of us. No, him say 5 away. And the lady at the counter go, what the 5 on there? And him say, what you talking about? No, me and my family. But you know, as they see you, they know. And him say, where your family live? And he said, wait a minute, I'm paying Jamaican there as well. And the conversation started. Are we going to pay US, Canadian, or Jamaica?
Right.
So, I mean, so I had to go forward and we start talk and we start throwing my pattern. And them say, me need to learn again. You know what I mean? Because my pattern is strong enough again, them say. Say it sound different, sound foreignish. So eventually, I mean, long conversation, end up paying the Jamaican rate. Because you know their story.
Really?
So hear my advice now. And this is a teaching. Anybody that's going to Jamaica or plan to go down river far, and they might not want to know this. If you have a Jamaican passport, bring it with you.
Yes. Oh, really?
That would save you a couple dollars.
Oh, well, it's good advice.
You know what I mean? That would save you some money.
Wonderful.
Yeah, man, straight.
Wow. Let's get back to the music. Now, you learn your music from your family because your mother and father was in the choir and everything that we mentioned, right? And now, when you decided to jump out into reggae music, knowing that your mother and father knew good music, and they would be judging you from what they know, did that put extra pressure on you to really come good from the reggae perspective?
Yes, but I tell you what I did. My mother, God bless her soul again, and my father was there. But you know, in a lot of households, your father paid the bills and work, and my mother did that too. But when it comes down to the nourishing aspect of it, there's nobody that beats the mother in most cases. Lot of good fathers out there. But for me, the whole nourishing thing came from my mother. You know what I mean? My father did more of the discipline. You know what I mean? My mother did discipline but nourishing. I went to good school and it was very important that I did this. I started out in Russell's High School in Lucy. And Russell's was going through a transition and my mother said she wanted to move me to another school. And you know, all this time I was thinking, Lucy a country, but we love it. One way in, one way out. Everybody know your business, but that was a good thing because you know what you're dealing with. So she decided that okay, she's gonna transfer me to Herbert Morrison School in Untitled Chapter. I embrace it, big city, lot more to learn. One of the things that I said that was very vital and important to me is to make sure that that money was not wasted. So I took education very serious. You're probably familiar with O-levels, CXC and all of them things. I made sure that I took 6 subjects in school and I passed all 6 subjects in school, including A-levels, because it was very important from that perspective. When I was done with the O-levels, I remember getting the certificate and graduation, and me and my mother sat down and we talked, and she goes to me, what are you going to do now? You're going to go on to college? You know, and I said, you know, I'm going to call my mother Auntie. I'm going to Auntie, I love you now, but see the certificate down here. I promise myself and the Almighty, so I'm going to give you this, because this, make sure you know, so you don't waste your money upon me. Your son an idiot. Your son have some education, but a music my love. And she said, what? She said, music my love. And she said, all right. Music your love. Now go fight you. But I'm proud of you still for doing what you do. Going back to the question, I have always felt in my heart that how do I make my parents proud? Again, it came back down to the basic lyrical content. It didn't matter the form, if it was reggae, soca, gospel, it was just, it has always been important for me from the lyrical content. So again, if my mother was still alive, my father was still alive, I could still always bring, because this is my 4th CD, Reality, that's playing. I could always still bring a copy of my CD and said, here Auntie, go and play this. So it wasn't terrible, it wasn't bad. You know what I mean? I still feel like they would still be proud of the type of work that I've done. And you never know what life will bring, you know. Everybody have to live their own life. And some people endeavor to be lawyers, doctors and all. That was never my endeavor.
Well, the way you sound, you're doing what you love and you're doing what you do.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And your journey have to be your journey. Nobody can live your journey for you. You know what I mean?
Well, I would encourage everyone to pick up Steele, Reality.
Reality, that's
Reality.
Yeah, man.
But you also have lots of you know, you said this is your fourth.
It's my fourth.
Uncorrupted, your first. Talk about your first CD.
Well, remember that transition we're talking about from growth as an artist. Uncorrupted is the first solo project that we did. And some of the production is still suspect. But it got me up there.
Yeah.
And at the time, it was very good compared to what was happening then.
Yes.
And I got my first Julia nomination from Uncorrupted.
Right.
But that, you know, really got me out there and launched a platform for, you know what I mean, for Steele as an artist. You know, and a lot of lovers rock was there, a lot of controversial music was there. Controversial in the sense that, you know, man and woman go on and talk, and the man not sure if me should I really say that, and the woman says, say it Steele, you know what I mean? So, but it got me out there. It got me out there, and you know, I'm grateful for the growth and the development. Like you said, we're on the fourth, and this is reality. And when it gets to the level, you know what I mean, the one previously, Demand the Music also was a great album for me. VP Records, which is the largest independent reggae distribution in the world. They're out of New York. You know, I remember when I did a concert in New York, Jam Festival. You know, the response was overwhelming. And I remember my people making a phone call to VP about not the CD, the one previous. And the conversation was like, you know, they're saying they've heard of Steele, you know what I mean, and they'll take a chance on it. They took a chance. The CD did extremely well for them. You know what I mean? Where we sold out, you know, a lot of copies relative to what reggae music sells at. And, you know, they called back for more, and we did that again. Now, this conversation with this CD was a lot different. Now they don't Steele, we're full on board with you to do this. So now, VP is the correct distributor of this music, the CD Reality. So you can get it on iTunes. You know, you can go to vpreggae.com, you know what I mean, different portals, and pick up a copy of it. You go hit me up on Facebook at Steele Mob, and I'll tell you how to get a copy of it. But I've seen the growth, and I have to thank the Father for that, my sister. And I have to thank, more importantly, the media outlet that has taken the time, but most importantly, the people, my fans who continue to support me and stick with me through all the works that I do. You know what I mean? So I'm definitely grateful for that.
Oh, well, I'm a fan now, that's for sure. I mean, I was a fan before, and I'm a fan now that I've met you. I'm more of a fan because I love your music. I'm having a wonderful, you know, time in my head just listening, and I'm having a great time talking with you. And it's
check for your vibe, you know. A good woman, man. Check for your vibe. Check for your vibe. Even though you couldn't remember me. Thank you, Michael.
Oh, I know. It is Mark.
It's all good.
But I told him, I said, I'm going to learn it, and I'm going to know it, and now I know it. It's Mark Steele.
People were calling me Steely. People still call me Steely. I just answer to everything. Just don't call me Dr. Drunk.
Because he's not.
Because I'm not. Everything else I'm cool with, man.
Absolutely.
You know?
That's great. Now, you know, as I said before that, Peter Tosh, my cousin, and I'm always proud to acknowledge it because I think he was such a great Rastaman. You know,
it's a blessing meeting a family member too.
Oh, it's wonderful. But I've never met him.
Okay.
Only because, you know, he's a little bit older than me, and he was making music in Kingston while I was with his mother.
Right.
But when I discovered who he was and started really checking out his work,
so-called controversial artist. So-called.
Oh no, Peter just spoke his mind. And he wrote his heart. And when you do that, you're going to be controversial. Because when you speak your mind and write your heart, you know, people are going to say, hey, you know.
You know, you shouldn't be saying that.
You shouldn't be saying that, but you have to say it because the truth is the truth.
The truth is the truth.
Yeah. And as Bob Marley always says, I love Bob Marley, says, well, the truth is not an offense. It's not a sin, but it's an offense. So if you want to take offense with this is the truth, what can I do with you?
If you can't deal with it, you can't deal with it. But I firmly believe that people should speak what's on their mind.
Absolutely.
Especially now when everything is a headache, is a brain hemorrhage, is a heart here. It's people up on your mind, and that has been.
That releases.
What? Yeah, it better somebody don't want to deal with you for talking what's on your mind.
That's right.
More than them are your frenemy.
Oh, I know. Frenemy. That's a good word.
Not true.
Yeah. Frenemy.
Yeah, them laugh and talk with you, but them heart that kill them, they don't even want to. So it's better you always express yourself. Release it. Get it out there. You know what I mean?
And give it to, if you can't handle it, give it to God. He's capable. He's capable. And he loves it because when he created humankind, he created them to love them.
Love.
You know,
It's
but the
all love.
separation that we put between me and them, me and him, it's really quite disturbing for him and quite disturbing for the world. So get close and you know.
Man, for real. I mean, and and we were talking about it before. You know what I mean, about why we not discuss certain aspect of living and all of that stuff. Because anyway you take it is always going to be controversial. But in the end, I've always felt like your belief mechanism is very important. And you know, I don't care who you believe in. If you find something in your heart that gives you peace and inner strength, hold on to that. Hold on to that. If that for a minute just take away the pain or the stresses of the life, hold on to it. Yeah man, that's straight talk, you know?
That's wonderful. So tell me, what is your feeling, you know, about, describe when you were on the stage at Peter's birthday party. Like, how did that feel for you?
I did the Peter Touch tribute.
And this is in Westmoreland. You did the one in Westmoreland where he's buried.
Yeah.
Okay.
I did. And I tell you the truth, you know. First of all, just performing in Jamaica is an experience, you know. So you always have to, you know, gear up yourself for the unknown.
Yes.
You know, because a Peter Touch tribute is going to be different from a Sunfest.
Okay.
It's going to be different from a Rebel Salute.
Right.
And it's going to be different from a Sting.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So you have to know, are you in the Arms House?
Yeah.
Are you in the Lovers Rock? Are you doing the conscious music?
Okay.
Controversial music? Peter Touch to me was a blessing because I saw in the square, I'll be close to say probably about 9,000 to 10,000 people in Westmoreland Square. And I remember going on stage as an artist relatively unknown. I was just picking up in Jamaica, but being able to, you know, really put forward my message and Peter Touch music. You know what I mean? Because I'm trying to remember my show list for that night. But there were one or two Peter Touch songs that I did. Soon Come was on there. Call me on the phone. I call you on the phone. You tell me that you soon come. Yeah, and I'm telling you, when I delivered that song, you know what I mean, it was well received.
Wow, I can imagine.
You know, it was very well received, and just the experience, just to be involved in that was great for me, and I definitely cherish it. You know.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
He would have been proud because you know Peter loves strength. He loved courage and he loved good music. You know that's what I discovered, and he loved women. He loved women. I mean, like 21 or some kids. He's got
21 kids,
I'm not gonna scandalize anybody, but I tell you, he has a whole bunch of children. I've met a whole bunch of them. Lots of girls.
Lots of girls.
And two boys, of course, which I'm really close to, Dave and Andrew.
Andrew was actually in Toronto for Jambana, which was a good vibe.
Very good.
Vibe. Yeah,
he performed last year when I was there at the Peter Tosh birthday celebration, which happens in February the 6th, I think, around there. And if you want to go to a great party and you want to go to Jamaica, get an invitation to go to the Peter Tosh birthday celebration. It's really a cultural feel. It's a wonderful moment. Yeah, man. You know.
We can't forget him, you know. As much as there was Bob, you know, Peter also played a very vital role. You know, he was like the man that steadied the ship. You know.
Steadied the ship.
You know what I mean?
Tall and steady.
Steady.
Yeah. As a matter of fact, and I love when he explained his role with the Wailers, and this is from Peter. He said he and Bunny discovered that they could beautify Bob's voice. I think that's such a humbling thing to say. Here's this great artist in his own right, in his own creative, you know, mind, and yet he finds that, you know, beautifying another man's voice because of what he is and who he is. You know, it's a pity that they never stayed, but Bob had to soar higher than everybody, so he had to be set free.
Everybody's journey is their journey, and you can't, unfortunately, decide a man's journey.
No.
Everybody has to live.
Everybody has to live.
You know, it's just like your children. You preach, you lecture, you teach, you do everything. All you can do when you get of age is hope. You know what I mean? And pray. But in a lot of instances, they remember. They won't necessarily remember everything or adapt everything that they were taught. But you know something though, the most vital one I always find that they remember, you know. And you know, them go through them life very careful. Because, you know, and I've always said this, you don't, look, it's good to have a balance, mother, father. But if that's not the case, there are mothers who are so strong that can be mothers and fathers.
I had one of those.
Alright, you know what I mean? So, I mean, sometimes you feel like you need the balance, but sometimes you have to put on the man role and tough it up, you know. You know what I mean?
You play the hand you're dealt.
You know what I mean?
And then if you need to be mother and father for a moment, be mother and father for a moment.
Deal with it.
That's right.
I met the boy, I met the girl, and I say, yo, are you running to now?
Yes.
You know what I mean?
Yes.
So, you know what I mean? But like you said, you have to know to flip the role. So we have to give, you know, chance when you see a child remember certain things and embrace it and say, yo, I'm not straying from this, you know, because this was what I grew up with and this was what I was taught. You know what I mean?
This is why I'm so happy I was born Jamaican. I mean, I love the fact, I mean, I'm sure people are happy where they're born, but there's a certain culture in Jamaica that says stand up on your feet.
And do what you have to do.
And do what you have to do. There's no whining, there's no complaining, none of that is allowed. You stand up on your feet.
I talk about smart and street smart. Survival skills. If I was to say that was one of the things that unfortunately lacking in our community. A lot of our children grow up not being street smart. And I mean, and sometimes you can't, I don't want to say, you know, you can't blame them, but the society that they live with is different from what we grew up in. So I can't expect my child to be full Jamaican and know the way, because they've never lived that. But
what I do agree that we must do, and I try to do that with my children, because I have 4 of them.
Right.
And I wanted to make sure that they really do have a solid foot in their culture as well as in where they were born. You see? So Jamaica has always been in the forefront of my teaching for them, because that's what I was taught. So the most important thing is not to forget who you are and yourself, and give that to your children, because they will develop their own self here. Like, you can't do anything about that. That is absolutely out of your control. The only thing that's in your control is to give them what you were given, and the rest will take care of itself. And I think what happens is that a lot of us are afraid to give them what we were given, because maybe we don't value it as much as we should.
Look, let me tell you something. You see this, you see the little patwa there? I make sure I talk that to my picture them. You know what I mean? Me and some parents say, oh, you can't do that. Because,
so when they come to Jamaica, what do they do?
You know what I mean? Me make sure, so, you see, I have a little daughter, a little 8-year-old daughter. She not give me an inch of breed, you know. No, man, but
I would stick to my daddy.
Not true. I'm going to tell her the truth though, but everything that I have to be so careful, because this little girl, everything what I do, she adapt it, including the patwa, including the dancing.
Absolutely. Right now, you are her king, you're everything.
You see, I have a little boy, I'm like a 9-year-old, and him in our world, him try to talk the patwa, understand it, embrace it, still can't talk it.
He'll get used to it.
Then I have a big son.
Especially after a few trips to Jamaica.
I have a big son now who just a do film thing, but he's one of those child, what I say, I'm proud of him. I'm very proud, you know, because he embraced education, you know, finishing 4 years at university.
Oh, that's wonderful.
Yeah, man, I'm big up him Steele Force, because he's been doing his personal training thing right now. It's going well. Steele Force training, check it out. I might look for you, Mark Steele. He look like me, except the dress, you know what I mean? You know what I mean? But I am glad that each of them have their own identity. But as far as the cultural awareness, that has always been important, and it remains that way. It remains that way.
Absolutely.
You know?
Because when everything else is falling away, they need that solid place to stand, and culture is absolutely important. And let no one deny that. Culture is important.
Very important. Very important.
And we Jamaicans who are here, I mean, I love Canada, as you say. I would not give up Canada for another place. I just became a Canadian citizen after 41 years. Yes.
No, man, I did that long time.
See, there you go.
As I was qualified, I go, yo, man, get that this, and I show me out to you.
I was never afraid of that. I wanted to know that I really wanted it. And I guess it took me 41 years to know that I really wanted it. And it was a pleasure to study for it. It was a pleasure to know about Canada the way I didn't know about Canada before. And it was a real pleasure to go write it and to know that, wow, I did this. And then go pick up the certificate and eventually, of course, to get a Canadian passport. So for me, it has really been a great lesson of really appreciating where you're at. So I'll never take it for granted.
No, man, and even from my perspective, I tell you, and the funniest thing is when I go to Jamaica and I do interviews, no matter what radio station, you know, I always make it a point to my duty to say, yeah, I am a proud Jamaican. But you see, Canada has released me to the world. And I mean, I've stayed here and developed. You know what I mean? And I am not one of those. My first recording was done by Tristan Palmer. And I give him credit every day because he didn't have to take me to the studio. And God bless him, and I really, really respect that man just because he took a chance on a little country boy like me. You know what I mean? But as far as the embrace, you know, how people have embraced it has happened here.
Yeah.
I'm not saying if I was living in Jamaica it would be any different.
No.
But the fact of the matter is, this is where I am, this is where I've developed. You know what I mean? So I'm not running away from it. I've never been shy to say, yo, listen, this is where I'm working out of. Anybody that wants Steele, call Canada. You know what I mean? And just, that's the way I chose to do it.
And I understand and I appreciate that, but I tell you still, because your first song, Ribbon in the Sky, Stevie Wonder's song, now to take that on, didn't you feel any fear of taking on this big American song?
Hey, I tell you something, that was produced by Tristan Palmer. And I remember that song was important because you know I've always been in touch with the ladies, you know. I can't run away from it. Sister,
okay,
I must confess.
Hey.
I must confess. Ladies, this is my camera.
Yes,
ladies, you have always been so important to me. Don't stop loving Steve.
No, he's worth it.
And I tell you, going to Herbert Morrison, you know what I mean, and getting into the whole band, the live situation, you know what I mean. I started listening more R&B and soul and stuff because when I'm in Lucy, you know, the only thing I ever really listened to really was gospel music because my mother and father were in the church, so was I. But once I got into Herbert Morrison, Stevie Wonder, Lionel Richie, those guys became the masters. Yes. You know what I mean? So when I, you know, when I would be there and I'd be singing, for so long, for the night I pray, that a star would guide you my way. You know, and then you see where you react. You see the girl in the stage of Steele. Well, every time call me Mark. You know what I mean? And then I'll turn around and I'll do like a Lionel Richie. Girl, tell me only this, that I'll have your heart. Then them start calling me Trudy. So it's those songs have been important to me. Because it got me to where I wanted to go back then. You know, so it was only fitting that one of my first recording was actually Ribbon in the Sky. You know what I mean? And again, Tristan Palmer said, come. I remember the experience go because I went to Kingston and I have a friend living on Delamere Avenue. So anybody from Jamaica is living in Walton Park, Delamere, that's where I spent my time. And I remember this guy taking me to Tristan and says, Tristan, this you come from country. What be them call country? A regular thing. And Tristan Palmer, Philip Fraser, all of them were there. So I jump up on the wall and say, yeah, you can sing? Sing. Now, for a lot of people, they would have shied out of it. Me, you know, like the bold person, I start sing. You know, because the man says sing, Tristan Palmer says sing, you sing. Because you know his reputation. Entertainment, it's a pharmacy. If that man says sing, you better sing. The next day I was in the studio recording. You know what I mean? So I still remember that like it was yesterday. And I have to give the Father thanks. And no matter what, you know, Tristan Palmer go through in life, I'm still going to be forever grateful because he took a chance.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
Well, we're grateful that he took a chance because you're here with us today.
Definitely.
Oh, that's wonderful. Now, you know, you did say that your music transcends gender, age, color, whatever. Who, like, besides Tristan, and of course Jack, who have been your teacher and what inspires you?
Well, I tell you something. Maxi Priest also. You know what I mean? I've loved Maxi Priest and I love Barry Stafford.
Oh yes.
You know, them are the swagger when they come on to the female entity. You know, swagger, you can't get around them. They just have the charisma, they just have it. So from that perspective, and then the voice to top it off. You know what I mean? From that perspective, I would say them. Now, culturally again, we talk about Bob Marley, whose teaching was love, you know what I mean? Love self, you know, then you have the so-called artists, you have Peter Touch, the controversial artist. But at the end of the time, at the end of the day, he taught me strength. You know what I mean? Because again, we talk about you have to be aware of who you are, have to be strong and believe in the person that you are. You know what I mean? So if I put all those people in one category, I say, yeah, those are my inspiration right there.
You played with that Tony Rebel, you said, Freddie McGregor, Peter Marley. Now, playing with all these like big name artists, what's one takeaway you got from working with these guys that maybe you apply today to your performance or to your show?
Well, you know, for me, let's talk about Tony Rebel. And you know, again, Tony Rebel gave me the first opportunity to go perform in Jamaica after years of being here. And but before Tony Rebel, I have to big up one man, King David. King David was the first person to play my music here on radio. CHRY 105.5. I can't big them up, I know you know mine because
of course,
I'm like a community station that, you know, has embraced what I've done.
Tell what they've done.
You know what I mean? CHRY, 3 o'clock in the morning, I remember living up by Jane and Fringe and me and my brethren hear about King David. And you know, we say, yo, I have to go check this brethren, you know, because this brethren seemed like he embraced everybody. So we went to visit King David 3 o'clock in the morning, man, welcome us in the studio. Offer us interview, you know, so I mean, he has always been a part of my journey here. Tony Rebel came here for, you know, Rasta Fest, Masani production, bless up yourself Masani. And we have reached out to Tony Rebel before with no response because Rebel Salute is a big deal in Jamaica.
Yeah, I've been there one night.
Okay, but I remember when Tony came here, me being the type of person who just start for them on my mind, you know, met him and said, Rebel, we love to do your show. And him say, what the man name? He said, Steele. And he go, oh, are you? We get your package, you know. He said, here I go and Steele. Yeah, I work on the show because I was working on my son show too. I am here, let's see, after I done work, man, we talk. Remember, you know, so you don't have to pour it on because the big man there, you know.
Yeah.
Pour it on, and performance was well received. And after the performance, the man said, my youth, I love you. Love your vibes. I'm going to Europe, call me in September. And I remember calling the man, and it was like yesterday, me hear the man shouting in the office, yo, it's a Canadian artist here.
That's wonderful.
The man that come for Rebel Salute.
Aww.
So that was always, you know, a part of the thing that really stand out to me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
His heart is where it's supposed to be. Good heart.
Good heart. You know what I mean? So we have to just, them experience and them people we have to just cherish and embrace, you know?
So of course he gives you good heart and good vibes when you're out there, you put it out, and it's just like a balloon effect.
Put it out. And you one thing about Rebel Salute. I don't know if you know this, but there's a lot of things that we would deem illegal that's actually legal on the show.
Is that right?
What? First of all, there's no alcohol.
Oh, very good.
You know what I mean?
I did realize that.
Yeah, them don't serve alcohol.
Nothing going on. Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for all those people who like to without promoting anything, but check Rebel Salute.
That's allowed.
I didn't say anything.
That's allowed. That was everywhere, and that was great. That was everywhere, and that was great. I noticed that. We spent the whole night.
Yeah.
You go there in the evening, and you're up all night, and it's party all night. And it was great.
What that vibe?
It was great. And then you get up in the morning, and you get up, the sun is coming up, and you know people are still eating and dancing.
Good vibe.
And then of course getting out of the park. That was wild. That was really wild.
It's always an experience.
I think you spent 4 hours in line trying to get out.
Yeah, man. Yeah. See, the good thing about me now, if you perform on the show, you have a different way out and a different way in.
See, that was easy.
That was
now
easy.
the common folks like we were.
And not my fault. You're singing.
I wish. Now you have a resume that everyone should be proud of. As I said, Uncorrupted, you got Reggae Recording of the Year for that in 2004. 2007, your next album drop was The Love of Jah. You got Best Male Vocalist of the Year, you got Best Songwriter of the Year, you got Top CD Album of the Year, and you also got Artist of the Year from the Reggae Music Achievement Award. 2009, your next CD, The Man, The Music. Of course, you also got 2 awards for that as well. And you know, 2011, you were voted like Irie Music Artist of the Year. So you've had a lot of successes. You really have, and that's congratulations. That's really good.
Thank you very much, my sister. And you know, it's a dedication to it. A lot of artists don't realize that it's not just simple to just do a song and forget about it. The actual work starts once the product is released. That's where the work starts. You know, but if you're dedicated, just like anything else, if you love it and you're dedicated to it,
you have to promote it, you have to sell it, you have to get it out there.
It costs money.
I know.
People don't realize.
People realize, they just don't care.
They just don't care. You know, I mean, that's why we talk to promoters. We say, promoters, if we deserve it, work with the program.
Yes.
You know what I mean?
That's the only way the music was going to be uplifted to the level that it ought to be and recognized.
But on the other hand, artists, you need to make sure that you understand where you are in the marketplace.
That's right. Don't sell yourself short.
You know what I mean? At the same time, don't expect a promoter to give you 10 cents when them feel like you only deserve 1 cent. There's got to be a meeting on the mind. Why do you deserve this 10 cents? You have to sit down and analyze your one thing, you know.
Absolutely.
Because you can't ask more than what a man is willing to pay you. You have to put yourself in a position where a man go, yo, no problem.
Yeah. A friend of mine always says, don't give anything for free because people don't appreciate free. Don't do that.
Don't do it.
Put worth, put value to something. And reggae music has great value. Great value. So think of it that way.
Yeah, man.
That's wonderful. Oh man, I'm telling you, Steele has got some great hits out there. As I said, from his album Uncorrupted, you've got some stuff you can check out.
Yep.
And also from his other album, The Love of Jah, check those out.
Yep.
You've got The Man and the Music, you've got that. And of course his most recent, Reality.
Man.
Reality, so.
Some conscious element, some lovers rock element. Everybody that's bought Reality has just been overwhelmed, you know what I mean? Just something for everybody, you know what I mean? I have a song on there we talk about hanging on, and that again, you know, meeting on the mind where you're in a relationship and some people just staying at the wrong thing for a long time.
Self-worth. That's no good for no one.
No, man,
self-worth.
Self-worth.
You must have self-worth.
You must have self-worth. At the end of the day, you have to know why you're still.
Yes.
Why you're still.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So, and then you have Jah Is My Strength, which again, you know, and the funniest thing about Jah Is My Strength is that's the song that actually got me out there years ago. But it seems to resonate with so much people.
Yes.
You know what I mean? So I put it back on the CD again and people are like just embracing it again. But
people need to be reminded. Jah is their strength. It's all about Jah. Love him.
But here's the funniest thing. As much as I do music, okay, I'm also involved in another aspect of my life. I'm also a licensed mortgage agent.
Are you really?
Yes,
that's your day job?
That's my other job. That's my other job.
Okay,
the day is what the day is.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Got
it. The point I'm trying to make when I bring that out is, look, we're still in an economy where a lot of us, or a lot of people can't just rely on one form of income to come in. You know what I mean? And a lot of people would think that, you know, if they then bring back this Jamaica thing, you go to Jamaica, it's all good. There's still a lot of starving artists in Jamaica.
Of course.
And to be smart, I tell you, a lot of artists that we know and we hear the music doesn't necessarily mean they're making money. Now bring that forward to Canada where the economy is different. You have to find a balance. So what I would say to every artist, while you love your craft and you work on it, still have a plan that even though you love this, have something that you can say, you still get, because what I love about mortgage is you still get the independence out of it. You're not going in on a 9-to-5 basis and a man that tell you watch your time and watch your time. Still independent, but at the same time it's another way of backing up because the mortgage still come every month, the bills still come, you have to go to school. So, I mean, a place like this where a lot of the music, you know, a lot of performances happen in the summertime, you still need to have a plan to balance it up because again, remember when we talk about the family structure, remember we're talking about one hand can clap, it leads back to one thing. So me being a mortgage agent right now, I'm still helping people in my community. Every single day I have clients that still calls me and wants my services as an agent. Get them refinancing, get them first mortgage, and I do it, and I do the best thing I can. And you know, the sweetest thing when them come about the hookup. If I hear people so I'm Steele, you can't get me no hookup. No, but call me. And we talk. Everything is everything. You know.
Steele, it's been such a pleasure. I'm so thankful you came up, and thank you for giving us the time in the studio.
Definitely.
I mean, I've learned so much. I've been inspired.
I love you, my sister. One teach one, that's so good.
Absolutely.
You know what I mean? I'm here talking to you too, and you know, it was a good vibes. And like I said, you have taught me a lot too, and it was a vibes. If you invite me again,
absolutely,
I'll be here. I'll be here. Yeah, man. I'm gonna make sure we just globalize the thing. Reggae TV needs to be globalized because, excuse me, I think people need to know what you're about, what this is about. Definitely.
Absolutely. Thank you so much again.
It's a vibes, you know?
Wow.
People, check me out. Now cough, more magic water.
Go ahead.
Check me out. If you go on Facebook, just check out Steele Mob, STEELEMOB. Drop me an email, mobsproduction@rogers.com, mobsproduction@rogers.com. Before I go, since I have to let the people know, April 20, every year I do a birthday gala. April 20 is going to be my birthday gala. It's going to be at the Jamaican Canadian Center.
Yes.
People come in.
What's the address of that?
995 Arrow Road.
995 Arrow Road.
995 Arrow Road. Anybody that wants tickets for my gala, make sure you send me an email. Mobs, MOBSPRODUCTION. So mobsproduction@rogers.com. Hit me up on Facebook, send me a message. What we do, we don't make money from this thing. Pretty much what we do is we go over, have a good time, cover the expense. So the full gala, which gives you the dinner, live entertainment, because I'll be performing live with the Mountain Edge Band. I saw them, they're on your wall of fame.
They'll be my guest.
So we're gonna be there. Mountain Edge is gonna be there and 4 DJs. $35 gets you all of that stuff.
Wow.
You get the full package. So come out. Thank you for supporting Steele Music.
Absolutely.
Keep the Almighty in your heart.
Absolutely.
Most importantly, love yourself first.
Absolutely.
Love yourself first.
Wow.
Yeah, man.
He has been an absolute pleasure in the studio this morning. I am so thankful Steele made it up for us and had this great talk, and I'm sure you learned a lot from him. And we are perfectly coming back from this holiday and our first show for the new year, and we have Steele. Thank you. Thank you so much.
I love every time.
Thank you.
Well, I love every time.
Very good. All right, so please join us again next week. Our guest will be Jasmine Daly, and it's going to be another wonderful show here at reggaetelevisionnetwork.com, live from Scarborough. Thank you. Take care now. Bye.